Well, we'll start a minute early because it'll be 7 o'clock before we know it, and others will just join in. Welcome to the March W7PRA Peak Radio Association meeting. I'm Paul N0 VLR, chair of the board, and start with introductions. Let's see, on my top left corner of the Hollywood Squares, we have Terry. Oh, Terry's on mute. You might be double muted. It looks like it's still muted. There we go.
Okay. Terry, KJ7KUI.
All right, Terry, good to have you in here. Excellent. Mike, you're up next.
And this is Mike W7RIS, Corvallis.
Thank you, Mike, for presenting and all the things that you do. Mr. Tyler, good to see you since the last HempFest.
Good evening, Ty Parsons, WB7DD, Southeast Corvallis, about 2 blocks from Lincoln School.
Oh, okay, now I know where you're at. And Sharp and Snappy Dresser, you know who you are?
Well, that might be me. I'm Ted, W7RTM Club Secretary, just outside of Philomath.
And Anthony, you're up on my next cube here.
Anthony, KE7OSN, coming in from Staten, Oregon.
All right. Hannah from the metropolis, the thriving metropolis of Lebanon.
Yeah, I'm Annalise, NH6Z, Club Troublemaker.
Let's see, is Andy, Treasurer Andy.
Andy, W7AAU. I am in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You got the DX award today, I think. All right, Mr. John.
John, K7JU, South Eugene.
All right, thanks for joining us, John. And Drew from the Time-Space Continuum portal.
Drew coming in from Albany at the moment, W3HES.
Wow, I got a hot mic tonight there, Drew, or at least an empty room, one of the two. Awesome.
It is getting emptier in here.
Okay, got it. Ron is playing possum tonight.
Yeah, Ron Post, AE4JL, and I'm kind of eating dinner, so you guys don't need to watch me eat. If you want to see me eat, come to 7QP.
That goes for all of us, Ron, but thank you. And thanks for joining us. And Julie.
Yeah, this is Julie, AI7SO. I'm eating dinner too, so I'll join in with the no picture tonight.
No worries, no worries. Thank you all for coming tonight. We've got a few topics that we'll cover, starting with Mike's education segment, and then we'll go into the business meeting. I think one of the important things that we need to do here is to make sure that we've done everything we need to do with our our bylaws. And so I'll work with Ted on that when his time comes up. And then we'll talk about the usual agenda items of upcoming events and whatnot. So thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead on to the business portion of the meeting. We've got a couple of reports. Let's start with Mr. Secretary. You have any update, anything on the meeting minutes, and then we'll go into the bylaws real quick.
Well, I sent the meeting minutes out for February a couple of days ago. And I haven't heard anything back, so I'm assuming all's cool. So if there are any changes and additions or updates or deletions, contact me at rusty.hinge@gmail.com. Since W7RTM at ARRL.net is not working.
Yeah, everything looked good to me, Ted. I took a look at it, but forgot to reply. Thank you.
If you forgot my email address, you can find it on QRZ.
Excellent. So this is a special meeting of the year, the March meeting. And several folks on here know more about it than I do, so I'm going to rely on you correcting me. But this is the month in which we've worked very hard at trying to come up with new revised bylaws over the course of starting in December. We talked about it. January, we put out a draft. February, we made some changes and sent them back to Ted. There was some emails back and forth about acceptance of these, or at least it looks good. But this is the month where we can, I'm gonna just use the generic word officiate them. If anybody has any better way of doing it besides a show of hands, or if we want to go through them, you know, and just show them up on the website, I'm sorry, on the Zoom call here, to see if there's any changes. But does anybody have any suggestions as to how to do that?
I don't know if it's changed. In the past, we've done it with the officers on the secret ballot. So, and I believe in the past years, we've been doing that through Ham Club Online. So there just needs to be an item that says, do you agree, you know, do you ratify the changes to the bylaws?
Okay,
Shouldn't be
thank you, Anna.
officers.
Yeah, I'm less familiar with the process. I was just happy to get some changes done to them and then see where we go from here. And since I wasn't sure, I guess I'd have to go look at the old bylaws to see how we do the new bylaws, right?
Sorry, bylaws and officers and board members are a little bit more formal than normal motions.
That's fine. Okay. Ted, maybe you and I can talk about how to do that and put it up for a vote, and do use the Ham Club Online voting mechanism. I know that it's out there. I'm sure we can figure it out. We can do it after this
Anthony,
meeting.
haven't you put that together before? I thought.
Yeah, and I've actually got it open and can add ballot items as we go through.
Okay. Do we have a current finalized copy, Ted, that can be used?
We have the current draft. It's not finalized in that it's still, the changes are still identified in bold.
Mhm.
So it's a simple matter of changing those to regular text.
Okay.
Formatting changes really don't matter as long as the words are the same, then the ratification is fine.
I had not planned any changes to words.
Could you send Anthony a copy, if Anthony is willing to post it up on the Ham Club Online to allow us to do that vote, and then we can, you know, do it in the next day or so, or whenever it comes to us. Does that sound reasonable?
I can do that. You want it in its final form, so changing the identified text.
So the Ham Club Online ballot, I'm not sure how well it's going to maintain the formatting. So I think as long as the text is paragraphed out, then that's about as good as it's going to get for this.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. That sounds like a great way to do it. Thank you, Anna, for reminding me and keeping me on the straight and narrow here.
You can always do a reference to Anthony where we upload it to Google Drive or something like that somewhere, and then reference it in the ballot so that people can click through and look at it where they vote.
It's already on Google Drive.
Yeah, I wanted to say, if you want to send me also a copy, I'll put it on the webpage.
Only once it's ratified, Ron.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I prefer to do it just once.
Yeah. So for those who weren't following all the changes, there was some old information in there, some old websites, some old meeting places and other things. We just spruced it up a bit. We didn't make any big changes. It was just to kind of, you know, make it relevant for today's meeting style and our new website, which is peakradio .org, www.peakradio.org. It used to be Peak Radio Association. We've since gotten a different domain name and all that. So, okay, great. Any questions or discussions on the way we're going to approach that, or otherwise I'll move forward. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody that contributed to these as well. I appreciate it. Andy, is he still? Andy, are you there for Treasurer's Report? He might have stepped away. We'll come back to him. Ron, anything on the website? Anything you'd like to add or request?
No, I don't have anything new for it. Again, if you have pictures and want to send them to me, that's probably the next thing I'm going to tackle is try to get some pictures up on there.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody has anything that they're doing anything special or going to any special places, you want to take a picture, don't worry. I mean, it's all good. It's just propagating, and promoting the hobby. So feel free to put a picture up there of, you operating or setting up antennas or finding the largest 160-meter beam in the world or something. Whatever you find interesting, I think would be of value. Thank you.
I got one comment there. Working with Dick Fry, the 7QP guy, he's also, it sounds like, but I haven't seen how he's going to do it. He wants to build links to web pages for people or for groups that want to advertise a 7QP event. And so I thought that would be a cool thing when I get a little more information, where we might want to end up putting something on our web page identifying the club as doing the 7QP event. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. That's just something that's still in the old cooker at this time.
Excellent. I think that's a great way to cross advertise and get more folks interested. I know I mentioned it on the repeaters when I jump on in my commutes and things. If I'm talking to somebody in HF that's in 7 land, I'll say, hey, I hope to work you on 7QP. And they're like, oh, is that still around? And I'm like, yes, go to this website. And I'm like, well, anyway, anybody who's ever heard me on the repeaters know what I talk about. I'm promoting it all the time.
And then a natural extension for that is also for field day.
Right. And for those who can't operate at the location that we're going to be in Central Oregon, there's also the ways to do it from home, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. Mike, I still have an item here about the KE7ZKH estate. Is there any updates on that? Or I know last month we went to Rick Rial, and then I don't think, did we talk about it at the meeting, or I've lost track of? I should have kept the meetings minutes up here.
So okay, so let me refresh you, and so you know what's happening. So at this point in time, nothing more involving the club. I'll be working with Michelle to try and sell the remainder of stuff, either eBay or some other ham community, but trying to find some other web methods for getting rid of that. The one thing that I will open up at this point in time, and that was in a previous email, there's a bunch of antenna hardware that is still sitting in the backyard that is now weeds are starting to grow up around it that she would like to get rid of. If you can make an offer or donate something to her or something like that, she really just wants to get rid of it. So that if anybody needs any contact information for looking at some of the stuff, let me know and we can make some arrangements.
What kind of stuff is it, Mike?
So, it's it's mostly homebrew stuff. There's a couple marine type of antennas in there. It's typical homebrew type stuff.
All right. I think I'm reaching critical wife mass on number of antennas on the house.
Yeah, yep. So anyway, at this point in time, there's nothing more involvement as far as the club. And I
Thank you,
wanna
Mike.
say,
Appreciate it for
I mean,
spearheading that.
Just
Yep,
throwing out
final-
an idea for the club, and I mean, it will take work, but you know, people may be able to piggyback on it. CPAC is coming up. I'm sure there's a swap table available at CPAC if people want to drag their stuff there.
Did you look to see what the price is this year?
I haven't. You know, I go into Flex's booth. Flex writes the checks. You know, it is what it is.
So for a table there, it's $40. So it's gone up substantially.
Yeah.
And in fact, I know two guys right off the bat that they can't make it's not worth it for them. They're too high of a barrier.
Yep.
Okay, Paul.
All right. Yep. Okay, great. And for anybody interested, CPAC is one of the largest Northwest, it's the Northwest Division ARRL convention, and it's May 31st to June 2nd this year. And there's a website you can look at, it's cpac.org. That's Sierra Echo Alpha, Papa Alpha Charlie .org. And there's usually a handful of folks from this club and some other clubs that you might have talked to on repeaters that attend, and you bump into them up there. It's a lot of fun.
So I will, since we're talking about Hamfest, I will make this tentative offer that I am going to Dayton this year. So I will be driving to Dayton this year, I decided, which means that there's going to be the back of a Bronco going to Dayton and back. If people find some real good deals and don't pack up the back of my Bronco with a bunch of junk, then I might be convinced to transport something back from Dayton to Oregon for you to pick up. So you can keep that in mind and get a hold of me if that makes any sense whatsoever. I go with I drive every few years just to be able to pick up stuff from the flea market that I look at and go, can I fit that in my luggage? No, but I'd really like to have it.
Thank you, Anna. I know that Buddy Hexes are on back order, so I don't suspect that they'll be available for sale in the 4 days in May.
I don't know. You can always write Chris and ask him. And you know, I don't know if it'll save you any shipping, but if you want to tell Chris that you'll have somebody pick it up at Hamvention, and he can drag it there, you know, you might save some shipping that way. But anyway, up to you. Just putting the offer out there. The Bronco is going to Dayton. The Bronco will be coming back from Dayton. If things fit in it that people would like transported, I may be able to do that for you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. One more call for Andrew. And here's Andy. Andrew, you want to go through your treasurer's report?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. As of March 16, 2024, our checking account had $1,786.20, and our savings account was $2,486.96. So our total bank account is $4,273.16. Our PayPal account balance is $91.29. Our Square Up balance is 81 cents, for a total of $4,365.26. And Mike, I haven't yet received your bill for paying for the field day sites. So be sure to let me know
Okay.
what size check to write to you. That's the end of the treasurer's report.
Any questions or comments on the treasurer's report? Okay, as always, thank you very much, Andy, for your service. do appreciate doing all those dollars and cents and credits on the left, debits on the right kind of work. It's not something I really excel at, so I appreciate your efforts there. Let's see, repeater report. I've asked Chris AB7BS to join us on a number of occasions. I'm having trouble getting together with him on even just getting our website posted on the cross-linked on the w7pra.com site. So I'm sure once he comes up from being not so busy, he'll get back to me and we'll re-engage. But you know, late last year, November, December, he was very interested in making sure that we have what we needed. So it's just a matter of getting some bandwidth. But the repeaters are out there. They're connected. As far as I can tell, they're connected. I've talked from I've talked from Vancouver, Washington, all the way down to Central California, somewhere, well, at least Northern California anyway. Just on a whim. So they're working. So enjoy them as you can. And if you don't know how to which ones they're available, go to w7pra.com. And there's a repeater link right there, and you can see all of the repeaters that are mostly connected all the time. There are some that are, you know, on and off, but feel free.
Quick question. Anthony, I just sent you the email. It's sent quicker than I had planned, so just let me know if you got it.
Not just yet, but I'll give it a minute.
Okay.
Since we're speaking of repeaters, I'll mention that there is a new digital protocol out that's being sponsored by ARDC so that we can have a digital voice protocol that is open source and ham initiated rather than manufacturers shoving digital protocols down our throats or us reusing things that commercial radio was, you know, it was designed for commercial radio. It's called M17. And there's the m17project.org is I believe their website. So they've got like $500,000 or something like that to develop this protocol from ARDC. They have some prototypes out, including some new firmware for some relatively inexpensive Titera DMR radios that you can just flash new firmware on there and it'll do M17. August Johnson and I are playing around with trying to get an M17 enabled repeater up on Marks Ridge here in Lynn County. So if anybody is interested in playing with that stuff and more information, they can ping me and hopefully we'll have a place where we can play with that on a repeater here in Lynn County soon.
Excellent. That's some new time.
I could give you my
And,
VHF digital voice lecture, but that would take more, you know, that's more of a presentation level sort of thing than a general.
right on. Okay, this is a good time to talk about upcoming events. I know we've got 7QP and we've got Field Day. Does anybody have any smaller items that are up and coming that are for the general interest before we get into sort of what I call a larger discussion?
Like I say, Dayton's the 17th of May. Be on the lookout for good deals. Even online, a lot of the manufacturers will give you discounts if you buy during when Dayton is going on. You don't necessarily have to be there. So I know we do. If you would like to buy a brand new nice Flex radio, we do have discounts during Dayton. You can get while you're online and you don't have to be there. So other manufacturers I know do that too. So be on the lookout the middle of May for some good sales.
Excellent point, Anna. And yeah, they do start advertising and you have same price as Hamvention pricing. And I've seen that. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that if you're in the market for something and you're just holding out.
And may I also mention that Flex Radio supports bread, so you can pay for that big new amp that you want on over time. So you can get approved right on the website. And you know, we also take trade-ins, basically anything that you'd like to trade in and give you credit towards a nice shiny new Flex Radio.
Good to know. That's not something you see every day. Okay, well, upcoming in May, we have 7QP. 7QP is for the 7th Area Call District, for those who don't know. That's pretty much the entire left side of the country, minus California, which is the 6th Area Call District. And not including Alaska and Hawaii. Well, actually, no, isn't no, that's, help me out here. Alaska is not really part of the 7th Area Call.
KH6 and KL7 are actually different DXCC entities.
Yeah, I thought so.
That is why people get angry at me when I don't sign portable during the contest, because they think I'm a different DXCC entity. But anyway, they can pound sand.
All right. I personally have enjoyed 7QP for a number of years, but not nearly as much as some of the other folks on the screen here have done it in my absence and beyond. But it's really a lot of fun.
The first year crew, there are only 2 of us left. So
okay. Mike, did you want to add any more than what you already said about you know, sending you an email and other things, or is there anything else to add here?
Not really. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So whatever happened to your FTDI cable?
It's right here, waiting for some bandwidth.
oh,
I have some
FTDI.
scissors.
You have scissors?
I have scissors.
Thank you.
An
I actually replaced one, the one that I needed the most, which was my 70. I have a 70. My sister has a 706. When I went to New Hampshire and I was trying to do winter field day from while I was out there, and I had to type in all the frequencies, and I was cursing every minute because it wouldn't connect because I had a Windows 11 laptop. But that was just me not wanting to sit and try to figure out what was wrong with it and diagnose it and fix it right there on the spot. I was having too much fun making contacts.
I'm sorry, Mike. I thought you
It's
said
not-
FDDI to start out with, and not FTDI. A FIDI cable is quite different than an FDI serial cable.
It certainly is, but yeah, unless it says, I think you got the point there. Unless it says FTDI on it, it's probably not worth saving. I dumped everything that said Polarific or anything else. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I ever use is FTDI.
Yep. No, I'll make sure that I buyer beware. I usually spend in the $19 to $21 range to be clear, but not everything is that way.
But the point being is that what came up on the driver on the device manager page indicated it was a Prolific, not FTDI. So I'd throw it away.
Right. Yep. I'm saving it for a special day. Okay.
There's no saving on something like that. It's wasted your time.
Just
time is
you're
precious,
offering scissors.
and you
I get it.
don't waste it.
Yeah. It's only good for somebody who's stuck on Windows 10, and then it'll probably work. But anyway.
No,
Okay.
it's not worth any time at all.
There you go.
I'll shut
Spoken
up.
like a true expert right over there. All right. I will put a plug in for 7QP if you definitely are interested in either participating, in the Prineville expedition, we'll call it, or even just operating from your home. Definitely get yourself on the reflector that Mike has for 7QP, just to kind of hear and what's going on and what the preparations are, and get kind of geared up for it. It's our own, what I'll call hometown QSO party, right? And so all of Oregon will be active on the air, each county, if you're looking for counties. So if you got your 40 and 80 meter antennas and you've got something going there, you'll get all of Oregon as long as you can find them, on the bands, you'll be able to probably pick them up. And of course, the entire, Montana all the way down to Arizona. And I'm probably missing something there. There's how many states in there? I think there's 8. Is it 8 states? I forget.
Yep.
Go to the website. The website number7qp.org, I think it is, right? Let me see here.
I think it's 10.
And not mean to scare anybody
8.
away, but just know that 7QP, we traditionally are quite a bit more serious about the contesting part than in field day. So we're
Yep.
kind of more there to turn cues than, have it be a social event. So I say, I don't want to scare anybody away. There's room for everybody. And if you want to see how some more serious contesting and planning works, then it's a okay time to come. But yeah.
Yep.
Mike and I get
Thank you.
serious during that contest, and yeah, we want to make QSOs.
And looks like there's 8 states: Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Nevada, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and Arizona. For those who are new to the topic, just wanted to give credit to anybody who's never operated it before. So, and again, the number 7qp.org if you are interested. Excellent. So, somebody have a question? Okay. Any new business or upcoming events? Items of interest? I'll mention that I have 2 new grandbabies since the last time we met. I'm having them study for their technician license as we speak. But anyway, all went well, and I've got 1 new granddaughter and 1 new grandson. So that's my news of the day here.
Have we concluded nominations for directors and officers? And finalize that so that it can get on the ballot? That also has to happen at the March meeting. We have to elect a new slate of officers and directors.
Ooh.
And again, that's usually on the Ham Club online. So if that's not already on the agenda, if it is, I'm sorry for jumping the gun.
No, it's not. Thank you, Anna, for bringing that up. I've been so focused on trying to making sure that the updates get done. I was really not looking at the old ones, trying to see what had to be done.
I think as, if there is only one candidate for each position, we can just announce them filled. That's pretty traditional. We don't have to have a ballot with one person on it, and we've traditionally not done that. And I don't think I don't recall any additional nominations coming as, considering that all of the people in the officers are willing to serve another term.
Oh, shall we ask for any nominations now?
You can have nominations from the floor.
Any nominations for chair?
I nominate Paul.
Seconded.
Okay.
Any others?
And I'll nominate me for whatever position I have.
You
Trustee.
nowadays, yeah.
I'll
Oh.
second that, Mike.
Let's
Okay.
put it this way. Are there any officers or board members who are unwilling to serve for another term and would object to being nominated again?
That might save time.
Then I move that all officers and board members are nominated for their current positions.
Second that.
So are there any other nominations for directors or officers? Having heard none, I move to accept the slate of officers and directors for the 2024 year.
I'll second that.
All right, I think we can declare that as all officers and board members are elected and we don't have to hold an election for them. If Anthony really wants to put together a whole bunch of ballot with a single person each for each, then yeah, I'm happy to let him do that. I'm sorry to steal your thunder, Paul, but I figured-
No, please. I am learning just like taxes, Anna, when you only do something once a year, you gotta really like get into the zone of getting it done. And like,
You don't
like
want to talk to a lawyer about taxes. I fight with my wife, who's an accountant, all the time about taxes because,
okay.
lawyers are significantly more flexible with.
I think Paul was just asking to do taxes like monthly.
No. Somebody give me the garlic so I can throw it at Drew. Ward off that evil. Okay, so
You could
thank
stop
you,
at
Anthony.
garlic.
That
I'd
was
do an
not on the,
axe.
I meant to put that on the agenda, and thank you for keeping me again on the straight and narrow here.
And Ted, the document you sent was the minutes.
Was the what?
Minutes.
Oh. Okay. I'll send you another.
In that case, I move to impeach Ted. No, I'm kidding.
No,
No.
Oh, no,
You can,
I reject that motion.
no.
Impeach him, you get to take his place.
You cannot impeach without filling that slot. Sorry.
But wait a minute.
Too late, Ted.
I have been meaning to step down for the last 3 years. Do you realize that?
But you said you really like the recordings because you get to see us and our jocularities throughout time and time again. Anyway, I do appreciate everybody's service, and please, if there's ever anything that you can step up and help with, especially these special events. I know Ron and Scott put together a wonderful picnic in Poda last year. I'd really like to see us do more active things, and I like to spread them out throughout the year. Right now, we've got May and June, and we've got December, which is our typically our kind of like our end of year, kind of right around the end of year holiday type of gathering. And if there's other ones that we'd like to do, I just need someone to kind of like spearhead it. So we're open for these ideas. We used to have a 2-meter simplex contest. That was fun. It's great if we can get other clubs involved as well. I'm open to talking to somebody about that, but I don't have the bandwidth to run it. I really don't. It's a bit of talking and sending out emails and getting other people involved and to make it really successful. But there's other things that we could be doing as well. So always open for those ideas. Please send them to myself or just the W7PRA board, and we'll certainly take a look at it. Okay.
So one question for the bylaw election. What kind of time frame do we want to have for voting?
2 weeks. It should be plenty. A week, maybe. I don't know.
I'd say a week, Anthony. I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
Unless you're traveling to the South China Seas, you're probably going to see your email within a week. While Anthony is setting up those last minute details, and I appreciate that, Anthony, does anybody have any other topics that we'd like to cover before we close the meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to mention something. We've changed the locks on the club mailbox, and I have 3 new keys. So we should distribute 2 of those keys, I suggest, to Ted and you.
Okay,
So if we met for coffee sometime, I can give them to you.
that sounds like a fabulous idea, Andy. And I know we tried to do this last week, but we were both running with our heads cut off, and we said, let's do it again later.
Yeah, and I'm in Indiana right now, so we'll have to work on it.
If you could just reach out to Ted and I when you're back, I'm sure we can
Okay.
find a time. I come to Corvallis at least once a week during the week, if that's convenient for everybody. Okay, last call for other topics. Any questions? Okay, I have a gavel here somewhere, otherwise I'd hit it. I'll just pound my fist on the desk.
Don't forget to pay your bills and tip your waitress. Oh, wait.
Yes. Right, very good. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining tonight. And Anthony probably can stop the recording, and looks like he might have done that already.
No,
I have resent the bylaws. I have copied Rob and Paul, letting you know what happens once they're ratified.
Okay,
Hopefully I got it right this time.
yep.
But I
And
am eligible for impeachment, so there you go.
and the ballots should be emailed out, so those should be landing in mailboxes shortly.
all right.
You
Thank
just
you,
need a
Anthony,
sign
for-
that says impeach me, right?